I click the remote, and my next wildlife photo brings ahs from the audience. It's a good photo of the cutest kit, or baby fox, ever. I turn away from the screen to face the Ambler High School Outdoor Club. The 20 students are all older and way cooler than the kids at my middle school. This classroom is bigger than any we have there. Even the AV equipment here is amazing. They have a projector system that hooks right up to my computer, and it was super easy to figure out how to use. So the flip-flops in my stomach aren't over the unfamiliar equipment, but the unfamiliar audience. I didn't expect to be so nervous. My older brother Sage went here for 4 years. Plus, the high school is just on the other side of the parking lot from the middle school, so I'm familiar with the building. But today, it seems like a whole different world. I gave this presentation just last week to my middle school's environmental club. But over there, it was like talking to a bunch of first graders. A few of the boys kept playing with the globe every time the faculty advisor left the room, which was way too often. They'd take the globe off the stand and toss it around like a basketball. Some of the girls thought this was funny and egged them on. Others pretended not to notice and whispered back and forth to their friends. Even my friend David goofed around with his buddy Bruce. Nobody really listened to me. I barely got through the presentation, and we didn't get much else done at all. So I jumped at the chance to be able to speak to older, more civilized kids. I thought I'd be just fine talking to students who are only a few grades ahead of me. But now that I'm here, I'm worried that I look like a little kid. I'm worried they'll think they shouldn't have invited me, and that my photos aren't good enough to show. I take in a deep breath. At least I know they'll like this one. Focused, pale copper baby fox face in the foreground, and spring green grasses in a perfectly blurred background. I hear a few more ahs from the back of the room. If they like this one, wait until they see the next one. I click. Cheers and claps erupt. This photo is one of my best. I used to take pictures on my phone's camera, but one day my dad told me I had a good eye and surprised me with a real camera. The pictures I can get are so much better than the ones on my phone. I've saved money and bought special lenses to get even better shots. And I'm still learning. In this photo, 3 fox kits tumble in the grass as the sunlight turns the tips of their copper fur bright orange. It's as if each one is being chased by the sun. As action shots go, it's a winner. I feel myself blush. I don't want to seem too full of myself, but everyone wants to talk about this shot.
Brenna, did you just sit out there all day to get that picture? Like, did you know they were going to play like that?
A boy in front asks. Before I can answer him, the girl beside him asks, "Yeah, were you lucky, or are the kits that comfortable around you?" I think a moment. "A little of both," I begin. To get wildlife shots like this, I do a lot of waiting, a lot of sitting, or leaning, or balancing in weird positions alongside streams and cliffs or in trees. I'm learning to wait for good lighting, and I wait for the wildlife to appear. I take a sip from my water bottle and continue. But in this case, I didn't want the kit's mother, who, remember, is recovering from a broken leg and is stressed out, to see me. So I sat behind the enclosure. I click back to an earlier photo to remind them of the setup we have at our family's wildlife rehabilitation center. I stop at the one that shows the small wooden coop with the high chicken wire fencing around it. When I'm sitting behind the coop, the mother can't see me, but she can keep an eye on her kits. I'd been watching several afternoons, and I knew that this was an active time for the kits. I had clipped some fencing to stick my camera lens through. I didn't want the chicken wire in the shot. I paid attention to the sunlight, and I was ready when the sun was at this fantastic angle to really light up those kits. So yes, to answer your question, it was both. Lucky that they were out tumbling in the clear late afternoon. But I had already put in plenty of time paying attention to the sun and to where the kits like to play. So I was ready to get lucky. Does that make sense?